we open wide the virtual stage where ideas spark and wisdom fills the page. From the UK to the land of maple trees, John and Mike bring clarity with ease. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine, your message taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine, your message taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we grow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show.
Hello. If I doze off during this presentation, it's not because it's boring, it's because I've only had one sleep in 3 days. It's not a good thing to do. But it's a busy world in the world of Zoom. It's horrendously busy in the world of Zoom. We've got a developers conference coming up, and I am hoping to present some interesting things at that developers conference. I know there's a lot of other interesting things coming up at that developers conference as well. At the end of the month, we will make sure we put the link into YouTube when I can remember where the link is. But that's not all that's happening. I'm hesitating because I'm wondering if there's a pronunciation of this that I don't know. But as far as I read it, there is, on my little screen down there, a new product from Zoom. Zoom Bonsai. I mean, that's how I'm pronouncing it for now. I'm sure we can get some other pronunciations, but it is, well, it was a company that had a CRM platform, and they've been gobbled up by Zoom. It is now part of the Zoom organization. It's not part of the Zoom Workplace yet, but crikey, they've only had it a few months. They can't expect them to absorb everything overnight, but it is an interesting step, of course, because it is a CRM product. Zoom spends a lot of time helping people on HubSpot and Salesforce at the big corporate end. But they've now got a CRM of their own, which is exciting. Secondly, coming up in the show today, we have an announcement from yesterday. And that is because we now have, I was going to say we've got a Zoom buddy. I've got a Zoom buddy already. That's Mike. And he'll be on stage in a minute to give us his view on this. But we now have a ZoomMate. And ZoomMate is very simply, how do I say this very simply? I shouldn't have said very simply because now I've got to work out how I tell you what it is. It's an AI product. You might have guessed that. But it's supposed to be like a Zoom agent, AI agent, to help you do agentic research and to delve into the wealth of information you've put into Zoom, whether it be Zoom Canvas. Yes, I got the right word, which is their Docs product now. So whether it's the Zoom Canvas information or it's recordings of your webinars or your meetings or anything else you've put into the Zoomiverse, this is the tool to build your workflows. And Zoom is very much now talking about workflows. And this is it's an interesting concept. It effectively means Zoom agents doing things when things happen. And it all sounds fascinating. We're going to get some more Zoomies into our shows to make sense of this all for us, because the whole Zoomiverse is becoming really complicated. And that's why I got ChatGPT to build me a juggling Johnny trying to make sense of all these tools, because I'm almost feeling tooled out. I'm over tooled. I'm zoomed out. No, I'm not zoomed out. I love Zoom. I'm just Zoom-whelmed, over Zoom-whelmed. I'll stop trying to put Zoom into every single word that I say. I'll just ask Mike Latter to join us and say, Mike, have you, well, I know you haven't because of your look of shock when I told you earlier what it was all about. But this bonsai product is interesting to me because it puts a sort of line in the sand crossed, so to speak. Yeah, up to now, Zoom have been very much take your information, make part of it in Zoom, and then you can put it into your CRM. And now, of course, they've confessed that they gobbled up a CRM product of their own. What do you think about that as a Salesforce user?
It's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And I swear I'll be better here momentarily. There we go. So, what do I think? Interesting. I'm looking forward to what you got to say about the actual product and what you've known so far about it, John. But I'll see where it compares to what we currently use. Oh, and I swear Johnny will talk to us again when he unmutes himself.
I was hoping you were going to carry on because I'm trying to make sense of this website so I can show you something. But if you want to pull up my screen share, I just pulled up the features. This is the feature set. And I have to say, looks like a lot of things.
Doesn't it, though?
I mean, it's not like they've just pulled up somebody who's got a little CRM product. This is CRM, project management, finance management. This could be invoicing and billing as well as projects and clients. I mean, this is by no means a small project they have acquired.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely. This has got a lot of toys in it, to say the least. So it looks like it could actually potentially, I'm not saying it's a Salesforce animal, but it might be a more simplified Salesforce animal from what I'm seeing so far.
I would agree. I think this is a sort of what the SMEs would call a HubSpot competitor at the sort of level that HubSpot works at the smaller SMEs rather than the really, really big, the 100K plus club, which of course is Zoom's main focus for their team is the accounts that pay over 100K a year. Which I sort of flippantly throw out that 100K a year, but that's only 10K a month. I mean, that's not, it's a big, it's a big amount of money. Yeah. But 10K a month to a corporate, that's not a lot of money at all. So the benchmark at where Zoom put their focus in is effectively, those businesses that are paying Zoom about 10,000 or more a month. And 10,000 or more a month to a corporate for a full service like Zoom is, where you could have your entire workforce within Zoom licenses. That's not a lot of money to me. And I'm sure there's a lot of them that pay a lot more than 100K a year. So it's, if we look at the pricing page for this product, they've got, systems here from $9 a month up to the poshest version I can see here called Elite, which is $50 a month. And again, that's
$600 a year.
Yeah, that's sort of middle of the range, isn't it? When you come to, the CRM market, there's lots of CRMs out there where you can easily be paying $100, $200+ a month for the features. So this is not
very, very easily with Salesforce. Very easily with Salesforce. Are you paying that a month? So I know, and I feel it in my pocketbook, Johnny. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah. Well, I've got. I think I'm paying for 3 different CRMs at the moment because of my mad idea of being a software company, and therefore we need multiple CRMs. Yeah, we need CRMs for our CRMing, and I've got CRMs just from the development point of view, standpoint, to have a license to use stuff.
One you can break, one that can't break, and one
Exactly. And one I'm trying to break. Yeah, that's it.
One that you're trying to break. Yeah, right. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. My name's Zoom, Lord Zoom, licensed to Zoom.
License to break things.
Yeah.
You heard it here
definitely.
first.
I do. I do. I break a lot of things. I break a lot of things, especially when AI makes it. I'm very good at breaking AI's things. But that's another story. So this first thing, this first session, this first part is really this bonsai is a very interesting project. There is a short trial. I say a short trial because I think it's only a 14-day trial, but there is a trial of it available for those that want to have a look at it. It doesn't really integrate much with Zoom whatsoever at the moment, as far as I can see. And I think it will probably take a bit of time to get a mammoth product like this to be integrated with Zoom. But it could, it could revolutionize a lot of the stuff that we could do in Zoom if we've got a CRM in the middle. Oh, I've lost him. Where's my little pal? Where's my little box? Can't find it now. There's a little box, little chat mate box that pops up on your screen. Oh, maybe you don't see it so much here, do you? No, we get it in meetings, but it's still up there though. There it is. There's my transcription tool. So if you can have the CRM inside your meetings and events so that you can take stuff from your CRM and bring it into the meeting, so you can get pull up a record of the person you're holding meetings with, get that information, take information that happens during the meeting and put it back into the CRM. That's what we want to do. If we can have one built in with Zoom, then just letting you a little secret. They could all have done it already if they'd really bothered to read the Zoom developers information. But if you want to know about doing that, I think there's a guy who's going to be talking about that sort of thing at the Zoom Developers Conference. So you might want to listen to him. This is this is announced a bit too late for me to show it off at the Developers Conference, but it is definitely what we need. We're getting to the point now where if it doesn't plug into Zoom, then people like me don't want to use it. And that's the point where we're getting at the moment. Not because I'm anti everything else, but just because I've got a product now which can do a lot of the stuff that I have to do in a day. And if I can do 30-40% maybe of what I do within this app already, then it's going to be much more interesting to me if all the other stuff that I do could actually appear in this app as well. I might be the only person in the country or even in the world, who has Zoom Scheduler built into their Zoom. And when I say built into the Zoom, I've actually got an app so I can actually run Zoom Scheduler off my sidebar. I will be publishing that soon, don't worry. Although, I won't go into detail of that this one. But what I'm trying to say is that when I've got my Zoom my Zoom Workplace app running, I get to the point now where if I get a call through Zoom, I want that to immediately connect to my Zoom through, I don't care how it works. I just want it to connect so that when my phone rings, whether it be my phone or my Zoom phone, I want to know when it rings. I want the record of the person who's calling me to just pop up on the screen, just be there. So I can see who it is straight away. I want the record of when I last spoke to them and what I talked about, so I can sound intelligent and on the ball when they make the call. I want my social media to integrate with it. I just want one platform to bring it all together. And as I've got so much in Zoom, it just makes sense now to get everything else connected into Zoom. Doesn't mean I have to be in a webinar or on camera all the time. But I quite often have been on projects with colleagues, and I will literally have if I'm not in anything else, I'll have my PMI, my personal meeting, running all day. And then if I'm working on a big project, I'll do that. And my colleagues who are working on the project with me can then literally join me in that meeting, and they can be working on their bit and I'm working on my bit, and we can talk to each other, or they can drop off and then they can come and drop into the meeting. So we got a virtual meeting space on a project, and they'll just drop on the meeting when they've got a question, they want to have a chat, or they want to ask me something or show me something, and then they drop off again. And it's like, it's like you're all virtually pulled into the same building and you're just in different rooms and you just drop into each other's rooms now and again. And I have to say that it's a surprisingly productive way of working, especially for somebody who spends 90+% of his time in an office supposedly on his own. And yet I have these hundreds and thousands of people communicating to me through various ways. Most of it through Zoom nowadays. But, we do the odd WhatsApp or other stuff, but mostly it's all within Zoom. So that's Bonsai by Zoom, now owned by Zoom. Whatever they do with their product, the other big guys will want to do, but I'm pretty sure that the other guys at the moment are probably ahead. We have a product called Lightning, which is connected to Salesforce, and that's also connected to Zoom. And I know a lot of data goes flowing in both directions through that portal. And I know that HubSpot have ways of getting data in and out. And of course, Zapier is connected for a lot of people, taking data in and out. And after that, we have the announcement for yesterday, actually. Announced, even Eric had to keep quiet about it until yesterday, as he said in LinkedIn. We have this product called ZoomMate. So you now have a mate in Zoom. And the bullet points of the announcement on the blog is that Zoom is every day, every workday is built in conversation. Strategy sets gets decided in a meeting. Project commitments land in a chat. Customer needs surface on a call. Most of the tools meant to make that work easier stop at documenting the conversation. They transcribe it, summarize it, file it away, and quietly hand the real work back to you, which is true. That's what Zoom has been doing to an increasingly effective point. It's been taking our meetings and our webinars and our data, and it's been processing it and transcribing it and turning it into clips and doing lots of wonderful things to it. But at that point, it stopped. And the whole thing about this new ZoomMate is to take that information and move it intelligently into the other apps that you may have. Just like I've been talking about how we could get CRM to work more closely. This is what ZoomMate is trying to do. It's trying to give you a complete conversation to completion framework, as they say in their blog. There's something that's been sitting there for ages, and you probably don't even notice it's there, a lot of you. It's called Zoom Workplace Workflows. And it's not on your main menu, so you won't find it there, but there are workflows in Zoom, which is Zoom's way of moving stuff around. And I don't think many of us use it. And it's a shame because there's a lot of potential there because it is effectively the transport for moving stuff. It's the sort of automation, it's the basics of the automation tool that Zoom are sort of sneaking in by features rather than just dumping it on us, because we've had it for a while and nobody's really using it or talking about it too much. I hear quite a lot of people talking about it in the developer community, and that's because, of course, they are writing apps and processes so that other software can connect to Workplace. I want to be able to get to a point where I can have a meeting with somebody and the notes and the transcriptions all end up in the CRM and simple things like that. But I want it to happen without me having to do it. I want to be able to go into a CRM, for instance, and see all the meetings and events that I've held with that person or that person's held with my organization. And I think ZoomMate is working along the way of doing that. Because the third thing it talks about is agentic search and deep research. So it's offering the possibilities of not only just taking information off your CRM, but maybe taking data outside the your main sphere of influence. ZoomMate replaces agentic search. You can ask a question in natural language, and ZoomMate searches across the systems you've connected. So you can connect your Google Drive, you can connect Salesforce, you can connect ServiceNow, Confluence, OneBox, Box, and Zoom's own internal meeting and chat history to return a synthesized, cited answer, not a lot of links, an answer. So you get send it away to get your information for you, and it comes back with some English responses. I like that. That is what you want. You've got all this data, and this data needs to be maybe better organized, and that's what this is going to do. It's hopefully going to help you get the organization out of your data rather than the data out of your organization. Gosh, that worked well. Then the next thing it does is orchestrates workflows and agents, and of course this is where you stop having to do it all yourself. Because if you've got workflows and agents, then hopefully after you train them to do what you want them to do, they're going to move this data, they're going to collect this data, they're going to process this data for you without you having to do it by hand all the time. The most frustrating thing I have at the moment is the amount of stuff I have to do at the moment. Every time we do a Lord Zoom event, I have to go into all these various places and set up the links and program all the links in, and then tell YouTube of me links and tell Switchboard Live to process the links and get the images and connect them up to our various YouTube channels. And you would think I'd worked out a way of doing that automatically by now. Oh, I haven't. And every time I do it, I think, oh, I really need to make this automatic. I need it to produce all the stuff automatically. I need it to process the data so that I can just get on and deliver content. So we'll have to get workflows working. Zoom, this menu system should be floating down with us on this blog. Please note, this sidebar should be floating down with us. Me having to scroll all the way up to the top to find the next item. It doesn't sound like it's a very intelligent way of me using this. Maybe I'm using it the wrong way around. Obviously not using it the way they expected. So the next thing, I think if I just scroll down, I would get the answer. But the next thing is creating AI-first productivity tools. I think I like the concept of this rather than me going to the tool and then saying AI build it in. I want AI to build it for me first. That makes sense to me. The AI productivity suite turns that on its head. Slide sheets, paper, and canvas. Yes, they've got the new word in right. Mike's just taken a big sweet in his mouth. So if you've got any questions for him, and I'll have to swallow quickly, please let me know. The deck for the next customer review is drafted in the last 3 emails from that customer, the CRM record and the brief you wrote in chat. The Q3 status reported is assembled from actual project conversations and tracker updates, not retyped from memory. Yeah, I'm sure we've all started something and we've had to write the first paragraph, and then we've tried to get AI to start helping us along. Well, this is suggesting that the AI should be able to get it all started for you and start writing it, pulling together all your information for you so then you can make sense of it. I like that concept, and I've now realized I should just scroll down for the next one. How the ZoomMate architecture fits together. So behind the scenes, ZoomMate is a coordinated system of capabilities working in concert. So we should get some good music out of them. The ZoomMate workspace is a unified surface where meetings, documents, chats, and projects come together so AI can act with full context. This sounds very corporate-y, doesn't it? My Notes serves as the persistent memory. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, the little floating boy. My Notes serve as a persistent memory layer that can capture context from your conversations, including Zoom meetings, third-party meetings, and in-person discussions. If anyone has worked out how they get My Notes to integrate with everything they do, let me know, because I'm still not exactly sure how that works. And unfortunately, I can't bring Mike onto the stage because he's telling me he's confused as well. But I will get, but I'll let me roll through these, Mike, and then if you could perhaps make some review comments. Agentic search is a retrieval engine connecting Zoom, the web, and third-party sources. So they're bringing that in. Workflows, I need new teeth, is the automation builder. conversation and visual that turns recurring actions into governed, repeatable process. Yeah, I love workflows. I just need to work out how to get workflows to do all the workflowing for me. That will be really cool when that works. And two more, the agents. We all know about Zoom agents. Well, Zoom's agents are the custom assistants you and your teams configure. Notice you and your team. So this is not just agents at the level of one person. This is agents can work across a team. So an agent could be doing a job for your entire team, which again makes more productivity sense to me. Available in chats and channels, so you can talk to your agent and it can talk to you in your chats and channels, which is cool, with secure execution across third-party apps. Yes, that's why all the developers are running around in the background trying to get all their stuff that they deal with into a method that will then work in with workflows, so you can workflow into their apps and workflow out of their apps. And of course, the agents are going to be able to talk into that same world as well. And the last factor of this is the AI productivity suite. Slide suites. Oh, careful, John, careful. Slides, sheets, paper, and canvas is where insights and conversations become tangible deliveries. So that's where our deliverables are going to get dumped into those docs. The point of designing it in a way, this way, is straightforward. Yeah, it sounds straightforward to me. We'll see if Mike thinks it's straightforward in a second. You don't want a patchwork of AI experiences. That's true. With 6 different policies and vendor relationships, you want one. The most advanced ZoomMate capabilities, agentic search, deep research, which I assume is going to go outside of just what you've got in Zoom. Workflow automation, we just talked about AI generated deliverables. It gives you the stuff rather than you starting from scratch. Are available as metered services. There's the warning for those worrying about budgets that use AI credits. But of course, if you're in a corporate account, which is what this main target is, then I'm assuming you've got more, well, I won't say millions, but certainly a great deal of AI credits in your bundled package. So I think I like this. I think it's amazing. I have a feeling it's going to be more powerful than I'm going to cope with. But one thing I've learned about Zoom is they always give the biggest toys and presents to the people at the top of the chain, in this case, the corporates. And then once they get something that works really well, it just filters down to the rest of us. So, Mike, you look reasonably impressed. What do you think?
Reasonably impressed. But to be fair, I did take a look at what the additional charge of ZoomMate will be, and your credits number is overestimated, sir, that they are including per month per user. So it is based on a per user. ZoomMate is based on a per user add-on to your whatever account you have. So if you want to take a quick look at that, go for it. But as far as the capabilities of it, yeah, absolutely. It's, there's always going to be room for being able to customize AI in one form or another for corporates. So if it's going to be your mate to the user, and again, if it's, as you said, it's going to be ZoomMate is also going to be a team-based. So it's going to be like a team-based, what I'm envisioning of this, without, of course, John and I having access to it at this point, is that it's almost like it's a repository of data that the corporate has, so that your ZoomMate, instead of you going to, let's say, HR to ask a question at HR as an example, now you can go to a HR ZoomMate, and that HR ZoomMate now will have the generalized information. If you need more information, go to the physical HR person. Did I go wrong there, Johnny?
No, I like that. I think that was a really good example. Really good example. I'm not sure that it will work out the box, but yeah, right. I think that's a really good example. You could go and get the information. I am concerned about the encroachment of AI in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not because I'm against AI, but it's It's like having 50 children all trying to help you, and each child is really only interested in one particular thing you do. And so you've
Right.
got an AI that helps you with your coding. I'm using Claude at the moment, and I seem to spend more time telling Claude how I want stuff done than Claude actually helping me do it. But that's like having a child coding with me. That's okay. Then I've got ChatGPT doing our cartoon images. That's about the only thing it usually does for me nowadays. But I've got all these AI agents all disparately all around the place. They've got no idea of the overall task of anything. They only know their little bit. That's why I think of them like little children. They've only got little bits of knowledge all over the place. They're all disjointed. It doesn't take long when you get seriously into doing these sort of things for you to get a bill for each agent. And if Zoom can persuade me that their agent will have access to all this information and I can bring all the information into Zoom, and then I can just pay one AI bill for 80, 90% of all my AI day-to-day stuff, then the fact that it is a fee is not surprise to me because it would be charged out everywhere else. And maybe
Right.
you'll get to the point there where I will think, okay, if I've got some workplace activities that it can automate for me, great friend of mine always used to talk about the £10 tasks and the £100 tasks and the £1,000 tasks. Oh, it doesn't matter. It can be a $10 task, $100 task, $1,000 task. With all the automation around in this world today, you should not be doing $10 or £10 tasks. In fact, almost nobody. And this is why we have this problem trying to hire school leavers, because school leavers would traditionally do the simple tasks, the $10 tasks. In this world of computers and whatever now, you can get rid of most of those $10 tasks to automation. What's happening now, of course, is that automation is getting more sophisticated. And now we're able to get some of those $100 tasks into a point where you don't have to deal with them at such a level that the more tricky things, the things that need a bit of understanding to do, can be done with AI and automation. And I think that's where it is at the moment. And that's why we in the UK, and I'm sure around the world, are having problems now trying to how we employ our youth. Because our youth would traditionally have done the $10 tasks, and that's how you learned. My first big job in the world of computers, after I programmed for the education and after I transformed my father's business, after those two little starter jobs, I joined a computer company, and the first thing they gave me was a 6-week induction. So I learnt the $10 tasks for 6 parts of the business. So by the time I finished that 6-week induction, I knew how the company worked. I'd done all little jobs for all the little parts of the business, and I knew how the business worked, which was good because within 2 years I was in charge of the entire business. But that's another story. These AI agents could take away all those little induction processes because they can learn to do all these things. And if I can have one, and this is where we've got to be careful here, because Zoom doesn't have one AI. Zoom has a load of AIs, but the difference here is that we sit at one point with our problems and our automations, and then we share our data into this nebulous AI world that we put our data into, and that's where all our work happens. But unlike most of the other people out there, the AIs are not in that world, they're behind that world. There are different AIs used by Zoom for different tasks. And unlike a lot of the other AI worlds where you're giving your control up to one AI, you're not here. You're giving your control into an environment, and then you're having AIs come in and make use of the data from that environment. But again, rather than having to have lots of little children running around doing different tasks and not knowing about what else is going on, you've got one place which has all the knowledge in one thing. And after spending the last 2 months trying to teach an AI how I design my software for Zoom so that it can create stuff for me far more quickly. Because at the, some things I ask it, it goes away for literally 5 minutes. And I can see the thousands of tokens being spent where it goes back to learn the stuff to give me the answer. And then I ask it to do something else. It goes back and it relearns all that stuff all over again and comes back. It's so annoying. Not to mention so expensive. So the thing I've learned in the last 3 months is that AI is really neat at doing really simple stuff. But as soon as you give it complicated stuff, you need to give it context and you need to have it understanding the world that you're talking about. Otherwise, it's got no memory. I know they say they've got memories, but they don't have memories to the detail that when I say, oh, that looks really good. Can we now look at providing another button so that we can provide a box? Or it should know what I was talking about before and just go, oh yeah, you mean the box here, John? Not go back and reread or half the code to see if it can implement it properly. And that's what AI is doing in a lot of places. Even my cartoon images, I have to give it a picture of me to remind it what I look like. Because otherwise, if we've had another guest in, it assumes the guest is the new Lord Zoom, and I get kicked out, and then our new guest becomes the Lord Zoom. Then I have to go back to go, wait a minute. I'm still Lord Zoom. Me. Here's a picture of me. Now put me back in that image. It's a shame, really, because I could have showed you a picture of Mike juggling all those Zooms. Perhaps I'll give him a copy later. But yeah, AI is fantastic. And if we can have an AI that works in Zoom and really does the job of understanding the Zoomiverse, and that's where I'm going to be. You've been warned, Zoomies. That's what I want to know. I want to know that your AI Zoomies keeps the context of what I'm talking about and doesn't go back and try to understand it all again. Because that wastes money for me. And that makes Zoom more expensive. And it's not to Zoom's advantage. Because it's the AI at the back end that earns all the money doing the tokens. So we have to make our AIs keep the relevance of what we do. Otherwise, it's like a little child where you have to tell it the same thing over and over and over again. There's some dirty shenanigans going on in the AI world at the moment. I'm accusing them of not taking the trouble to understand what we're doing so that they can rip us off. That's how I feel. I do not expect Claude to spend 1,500 tokens to answer a question I asked it when we're doing something similar. Well, I could say 5 minutes ago, effectively the command before. I mean, I could show you, but I've got it connected in under. I had a little network problem in my office, and I ripped out the entire network for everything. So now my entire office has died. Everything in the office has died apart from this desktop, which is now directly linked into the broadband connection, and everybody else got unplugged because the cables wouldn't reach across. So I can't show you even if I wanted to. But this is my AI problem and opportunity. So to summarize it, I love AI. I think AI is doing really well. And Mike, I'm going to let you make your comments after this one. I think AI is doing really well. I'm getting more impressed how it's able to keep up with me. But I'm not impressed by the amount of research it repeats over and over again. I am constantly telling my AI, please add what we've just learned to your notes. And I've got it creating lots of markdown files of notes of what we've talked about in an attempt to eventually get to the point where I can just say, read your notes and now do this for me. And it won't then go back and try and read my code because my app is getting big now. and I don't really want it. It's like me asking Mike what was said in the last sentence and waiting for him to read the entire book before I get the answer back. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
my frustration, concern, and anger all rolled into one for AI. I think it's repeating stuff when it doesn't really have to, if it has some sort of intelligence. And I'm sure that it's not in their interest to fix this, but it's in our interest to fix this because I would rather it spent more time understanding and then making summary notes of what I've just done than to go back and do it all again. I mean, I could take one of the I'll take the cartoon images again as an example. I know that every time I ask it to do one of those images, it goes away, picks up its notes, and comes back with the answer. But if all I want to do is just change the character in the meeting, I have to be really careful how I say that. Otherwise, it goes away and creates a completely new image. I have to say the right thing so it doesn't go away and create a new image, but just changes the person who's in the image, or takes somebody out or whatever. Then it starts all over again. And when it starts all over again, of course, that's going to cost me an armful of tokens. And of course, yeah, there's an advantage to the AI to use all those tokens up because then it can charge me more. And I would rather it had a higher token per token charge and more intelligently spent my tokens.
Hmm. Yeah. And what I've noticed too, John, in my tinkering with AI as well, is that I can tell sometimes that even though as you said, I've trained it, and that depending on the platform, depends on how it's trained.
Yeah.
If I've trained it, sometimes it acts like a true 5-year-old. Is that, don't you remember I told you to do that? Oh yeah, you're right. But there goes tokens out the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's right. You did tell me not to do that or to only do this. And of course, this is why John and I make a lot of references to children, because of the fact that I'm sure if you are a parent, you've had a child that you've told them numerous times not to do a certain thing. Well, heaven forbid, is AI any different? Not in my personal using of AI. And I think, John, you're running into that too, where it's like, you listen to me now, but you might not listen to me later. Or it feels like to me, John, I can almost tell that when the AI systems are getting to the point of being overloaded, that all of a sudden, oh, let's ignore what I was trained and I'm just going to spit out something.
Yeah.
You've seen that too?
Yeah. Yeah. Suddenly the memory goes.
It's like, boop.
Have a little circle on Claude Code when I'm coding in Visual Code, Visual Code Studio, Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Code. I use that.
VS Code, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's a little circle, and it gradually fills up. It goes round, and it gets more and more full, and that's its short-term memory. And when it gets to the point of being full, it then has to scrunch that all down and redo that. So I tend to plan now that when I'm getting towards the end of that memory, I will bring everything that I've been working on it with. Even if I've not finished what I've wanted to do, I will bring that to a conclusion. And then I click the button and it scrunches that memory back down. So it goes back down to 0. And then I'll start another phase. But before I scrunch that down, I will tell it to go and add all the notes and all the information to all its documents. So its documents are redone. And I think I must have redesigned the documents that support everything 3 or 4 times because I'm still trying to find the right set of documents. Because I want a document to remind me of the features. I want a document to remind me of what happens. And then I want documents for it to remind itself how we've coded the libraries that we've made to make all the things happen. Because again, as a coder, I hate repeating stuff. I really hate repeating stuff. As long as let's say what I'm talking about. I like to do the rule of 3 because I hate repeating myself. But there's a psychological reason for doing that. It's to get the point over to you, the viewer and the listener. I don't want to have to do that with my AI all the time. I don't want to keep repeating stuff with the AI. And I suppose the warning bell I have is that how am I going to know how many tokens Zoom has used to do particular tasks?
Yeah,
If you
that's
want to
going to
make
be a good
money,
question.
yeah, if you want to make money as an AI expert, okay, first thing, ignore all these so-called experts on YouTube and whatever who tell you how they've got some great phrase or whatever that does a clever thing. I mean, they're not AI experts at all. They are just people that have found a way of asking a question. Don't know what you call them, but they're not AI experts by any. So don't be ripped off by them. But we will need AI experts to solve this problem of how we get AI to do things for us without it having to learn and rememorize all these problems. Because I don't know. I get the feeling that 70% of my tokens spent when I'm coding are a complete waste of time because it's just doing the same thing over and over again. So
Yeah.
how many power stations can we save from being built? How many data centers would we not have to build if AI can actually get the context of what we ask and understand the thread of conversation? If Zoom can do that, then every other software business can just pack up and go home.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Zoom's got a good opportunity to do that because it hasn't committed to one AI engine. It's kept the bubble of its data and its knowledge in one place, and the AI engines are down there, and we're up here, and in the middle is our data. And if
Yeah.
they continue with that, I think they've got a good opportunity to really do well. But they've got to stop the AI agents wasting our tokens, doing the same thing over and over again. And I think I've said that so many times that even an AI looking at the summary of this might actually learn the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I feel your pain, John, because I've done it too. When a lot of my testing of AI stuff that I've been doing too. So from images to, to all different types of tasks that I've had AI do to this point, coding and such, everything's been a little bit all over the place of all of a sudden what I think I figured out, Claude or ChatGPT or Gemini or insert here, Perplexity, everybody's got their own little nuances,
Mm.
right? So if I say the same thing here and then the same thing there, I'm always going to get two different things. And if I say the same thing in Gemini in this tab, and then I open it in a different tab, chances are I'll probably get the different things again. I haven't actually tested that within the same AI to see if I'd say it twice, if I'll actually get the same response having two different, let's say I had two different AI accounts. So AI account A and AI account B. If I put it into both, should, if I'm going to Gemini, get, if I have physical two different accounts, I should get the same answer with the same prompt. And I
No,
already know the answers. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I don't believe we'll ever get that.
Yeah.
It always seems to start from a different point. I want to be able to get to the point where I can pick up my phone and I can say, Mike and I need to talk about spinach. Book me a meeting with Mike sometime tomorrow so we can talk about spinach. Half an hour meeting would be enough, but give me a 15-minute buffer before and after.
Right.
And I would then
That
expect it to be able
again,
to go into Zoom meetings, Zoom scheduler, talk to your bot, find a time, put it all together, book it, put it into my meeting thing, have it all done.
yeah. Yeah.
That's where we
It,
need to get to.
yeah. And you're right, John, as a vocal command too, especially from a
Yeah,
phone.
yeah,
But
yeah,
on a
exactly.
desktop, yeah, even at a desktop, even a prompt of exactly what you just said should be able to put into the AI agent or ZoomMate. Um, and that should spit out and automatically go, okay, would you like me to do that? Yes. It goes. And then all of a sudden it goes to this one and it goes to that one, this, that. I'm done now. Then I would say, okay, double check that double check that everything was done properly. scheduler, good. Meeting setup, good. Yeah.
Well, that's the
John
point.
got an email, good. Right.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I want it to be at a point, Mike, where I don't have to check.
Right.
I want to get to a point where I have the confidence that it would have done all those things. It would have done the follow-up emails. It would have got the reminders. I mean, I'd like to. I'd actually like to. I've got Amazon. Can I say? Yeah, I can't say the word because it's too far away to hear me. I've got Amazon Echo devices here. Sorry, one of my devices is called Echo, so that I know I'm talking to one device, not the others. So I've got Amazon devices here, and I want to, I would like the Amazon devices to add all my Zoom events and my Zoom meetings to my reminders that Amazon gives me already. But yeah, I would want to be able to talk into my phone, and I would hope it'd be talking into Zoom Workplace, and I could give it an instruction, and just like they're already working on Zoom events that you can give it a sort of outline in text, can't you, about your event you want to do, and it will start to try and build the things. We want that to work. We want to be able to say, I want to do a meeting with these people about this thing, and then just come back to me when it's done. And, I get a pop-up maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes later to say that the event has been booked, and I just confirm that it's happened and it's all been done for me. And I haven't had to check it because I've got the confidence in the system. That's what I would like to see. That's where I would like us to be. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but
John, you said something important there too. I want to make sure that everybody understood what John said there, is that John said it was okay for it to take 15 minutes, which I think is also AI's also problem, is that it feels from the AI companies that we needed an immediate answer within 10 seconds after we hit that enter button. We have to have an answer.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. If I have to sit there for an extra 30 seconds for me to get a better answer than you'll give me in 10 seconds, I'll sit there for 30 seconds. I'll sit there for a minute even if you're going to give me the best answer. But let me know that you're doing something. But still, take the time to do it and get it done properly is what John and I are asking for. Again, as humans, we are tolerant if we know something is going on, if something is about to happen, as long as you give us constant updates. But the automatic of, okay, you asked me something and I have to have it within 5 seconds. Fine. Was it right? Was it wrong? And John and I feel it's more wrong than it's right now.
Yeah.
So if it gets to the point of it taking 5 seconds and it was right, great. But that we also, John and I know we've been in the industry for way too long. We just know that how much extra horsepower that would be to get it done that quickly, that well in the first place. So,
and again, that's in the business plan of frankly, of the AI companies. It's about time we started telling the AI companies what they do, not them come out with all this stuff, because they're just generating stuff to make profits.
Yeah.
It's like the utility companies trying to tell us what we should use our electricity for. It's about time now that we start, the tail stops wagging the horse, as we have a phrase over here. Don't know how well that's going to translate to everybody, but I'm sure you can understand the idea. We need to get to a point now where we have more control on what the AI goes to do and how it does it. And that's the opportunity that Zoom has, with all this lovely bubble of knowledge it has in the middle and its AIs at arm's length. Because we need AI to be more efficient, to save the planet being overloaded with servers that are not needed, to save tokens we don't need to spend, to save time when we need it to be time efficient, and as Mike rightly puts it, to take time to do the things that don't need to be done instantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you've got a more efficient system for all of us, and a more efficient system for all of us is a benefit for all of us. And it will, in the long term, make AI more valuable because, as you say, like if AI continues to act like a child and never grows up,
Yeah.
there's going to be a point where we're going to lose the point of using it.
Yeah. It's going to turn us off instead of it turning us on right now, which right now we're still turned on, but the more that we get bombarded by companies that are saying, "Oh, you must use AI, ooh ah," the more that we're going to go, no, we don't have to use it. We still have a brain, we still get things done, and if AI becomes unproductive because of bad answers or wrong answers, it might get to the point where we're going to stop using AI entirely because that's going to cause it to be that it was just a phase, right? It came in and it's going to go out again. So
Yeah.
they've got to be careful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
AI is nothing new. I don't know if you've heard this story, but I wrote my first AI tool in 1980. All it did was listen to certain things and just twist the sentence. It understood how a sentence is made up, and it just twisted things around. It had no intelligence whatsoever, and yet half the people I showed it to thought it was really clever. And all it would do was ask you a question, and then it would use your answer to ask the next question. So it would ask her what your favorite color was, and you'd tell it, and it assumed that it knew what the color was, even though it didn't know what the colors were. You said, my color is red. It would take, right? You could say, my color is puce. You could have said, my color is sausage. And it would say, oh, I quite like sausage as well, but blue's my favorite. Why do you like sausage? That's all it learnt to do, to take phrases and then turn them around and ask them back. And when it got stuck and it didn't understand what you said, it would just take one of your keywords and it would say, so tell me more about sausage. And that was my AI agent. Now, it wouldn't have passed the Turing test. It wouldn't have beaten everybody, but a lot of kids at school thought it was intelligent. And I got some really funny answers out of some people when I asked them really funny questions. And I quickly learned that people were quite happy to tell things to a computer. They wouldn't tell somebody face to face. Interesting observation, which happens, of course, now, because now people are telling AI all these stupid things, and they didn't need to before. But of course, Mike, I heard what you said, even if nobody else did.
Yes, so true. There we go. It's amazing what a mute button does. Okay. All right. But yes.
So there we have it. Two really interesting products to open your eyes to today. Zoom has its own, or owns its own CRM system. Be interesting to see how integrated that is. And I'm going to assume, as if I almost know it's going to happen, I'm going to assume that everything that happens with that CRM is going to be quickly replicated in all the other big CRM packages integrating with Zoom as well, because they won't want to get left behind. In fact, at the moment, they've got a lead because people like Salesforce and HubSpot and those people connecting to Zapier already have a lot of integration features running already. So this company, in a way, is behind. But if it overtakes them and they don't keep up, well, then that integrated world of Zoom will be to the advantage of those who are integrated. Let's just put it that way. And of course, the second thing only announced yesterday, which is why we're a little bit vague and woolly about it, because it was only announced yesterday. But I do think that Zoom is doing a good job in bringing these AI systems and integrations. I think it's being intelligent in the way it's using the Zoom ecosystem to be enhanced by AI rather than taken over by AI. But as we've said, it's the way these AIs use the context of what they know and what they know about us and what we're having a conversation about, which is really worrying the two of us. I think that's the thing. And if they do the right thing, then and they go in the direction that we suggested, then share price should keep going up. It reminds me, I must get some shares. And also that we'll have a nice, useful, productive tool to make use of. Because however big Zoom gets, there's always the chance that somebody else is going to do it better. So they've always got to be on their toes. And as ever, I can't believe we've just spent an hour talking about two little products from Zoom. But that's our views here. Yes, Mike.
So did you find it interesting that they went a bit UK on them, going ZoomMate, a mate?
Yeah, I thought that was much more human to be ZoomMate. I certainly prefer it to Zoom Buddy. That would have been a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. That would have been interesting. Yeah, that one probably hit the marketing. Yeah, and yeah, that one fell off the table a long time ago. Yeah. Do you are we doing Zoom buddies?
We're still waiting for the response to our request. Can the person who makes up all these names for Zoom please make themselves known? We would love to have a chat with you. It's not we want to be horrible to you, because I do understand the way you change names of things now and again to strategically make it all work. But it is it's you do a good job, whoever you are, or whatever the committee is that makes these names. ZoomMate works for me. I can understand why we've gone Zoom Canvas. Because it's more than just documents, so that makes sense as well. So I think Zoom, apart from the fact that Mike's on record for laughing at Eric calling the business Zoom in the first place when he first made it, before it was ever so popular as it is now. Certainly the words you're adding to the word Zoom are working quite well, I think. And Mike does apologize. Eric, you were right all the time.
You were. I didn't see Kleenex coming. I really didn't, for Zoom. I really didn't. But it's interesting. ZoomMate is actually one word. So it's not Zoom and mate. It's ZoomMate.
Capital N though. Don't forget your camel case. Gotta be ZoomMate is
And Bonsai. Interesting names. But again, Bonsai was already around, correct?
That's right. It existed before Zoom, and now it's joined the Zoom family.
Yeah. So we have a liminal and we have a Bonsai.
Yeah. Somebody's going to be clever now in the chat and put it in the list, because Zoom actually has gobbled up quite a few companies now. It's almost it's almost an ambition of mine now to eventually be taken over, be eaten up by Zoom. That seems to be the way to die gracefully, to be eaten up by Zoom at the end. So we'll see where I am in 5 years' time and see if Eric's got his checkbook out by then.
Quite possible.
By the way, Eric, my price goes up every year. You don't get around to doing it, of course. Just want to warn you, my friend. Just want to warn you. My value goes up every year.
Mm-hmm. Just like inflation, Yeah. The cost of living. Yeah. Good job. Yeah. Excellent.
So, assuming that my automation, as it is so far, has been able to create the correct production studio screens for Mike, I will leave Mike to let us go with the credits.
Perfect. Thanks, John. And thanks everyone for joining us this week on Zoom Test Kitchen. Wrong show. Lord Zoom Live. Look at me going to the wrong one. On Lord Zoom Live. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let, of course, Zoom know and YouTube know how much you love our content. And yes, we're here every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And check your time zones. And I'm not talking about AM. I'm talking about PM Pacific, and check your local time zones to match up with those times. And we'll see everyone next week again for another Lord Zoom Live. And who's up next week? John, do we know already?
Second week of the month, we should see Josh.
All right, from Zoom Events platform.
Yeah. And if you want to drop in with us on Fridays, we're same time, on a Friday, we do a different event. So you're welcome to join us in the kitchen if you want to as well. But otherwise, well, I've got some interesting things to show Josh, so it'd be interesting to see what Josh has got to show us. But that is next week. Josh, we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. And you'll be seeing John and I in the community forums and also on our other shows. So do check it out. The link is in the video. Take care, everyone. See you next week.
Every week we open wide the virtual stage where ideas spark and wisdom fills the page. From the UK to the land of maple trees, John and Mike bring clarity with ease. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine your message, taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. We're building meetings, webinars with might, helping you shine your message, taking flight. Whether you're new or you've done this before, Lord Zoom Live will help you do much more. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we grow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show. From big events to breakout rooms with flair, we've got the tools and we're ready to share. Guest experts drop in, bringing gold each time, with insights and tricks to help you climb. Can't make it live? We've got you still on YouTube and LinkedIn. We're giving that thrill, so tune in later or catch us next round. Either way, your success is where we're bound. Thank you for joining us, we're glad you're here. Together we grow, it's loud and clear. On Zoom we connect, we learn, we glow. Welcome my friend, enjoy the show. And make it live, we've got you still. On YouTube and LinkedIn, we're giving that thrill. So tune in later or catch us next round. Either way, your success is where we're bound. Now take the spotlight, the stage is yours. Bring your message through virtual doors. Each week we gather, and now you know you're not alone, so let it flow. Thank you for joining us, now go and shine. Share what you've learned, your voice, your time. With Lord Zoom Live, your power will grow. It's time to build your